Nice to meet you, Stephen.
Stefan, hi.
We in Czech has a struggling with the who can provide the psychotherapy. There is the medicine issue, medicine trouble. Psychotherapy could be just under the medical system. You should be doctor. You should be in a medical buildings or offices, and there are second route which says no. There's a social needs, pedagogic level. You need just 5 years proper training and proper knowledge and I don't know, like 1,400 hours in that, and it should be covered by some rules and system, and you should join some ethics codex or something like that, and you can provide it. It's necessary because people need it. So what do you think about it? Even you don't know precisely maybe the Czech situation.
Well, I am a licensed psychologist. I've been practicing as a licensed psychologist. I have my PhD in psychology from Stanford University. I've been working as a licensed psychologist. I work with people who are both licensed and non-licensed. So I would say, look at the research. There's a lot of people, professional people, that throw around the term evidence-based. I'm trained as a research psychologist, so I have some capacity to say that what they're talking about is not really evidence-based. So we have a lot of research showing which therapies get the best results, for example. And over 70 years of research show that they all get pretty much the same results. That when you do psychotherapy, it makes a significant difference. If you compared to a control group that would not get psychotherapy, but it's a generic effect, I should say, that just the act of one human being working skillfully and compassionately, working with somebody who's struggling, that will be helpful. About 60% of the time. Mm-hmm. Then you see that some therapists actually produce better results than that. But it's not the method that they have. It's not the degree that they have. It's not the amount of time that they've been training. Actually, the one thing that might be slightly significant is the more that you are trained the more years you practice as a licensed psychotherapist, you get a slightly worse effect. Mm. Because I think you get too ideological. Mm-hmm. What we find is that degree and training and license does not produce any better results.
Okay.
What produces better results is how much feedback you get from your client. Like how much you're adapting your method is, what do you want? Tell me in your own words what you want. I need to get feedback from you at every step of the way so that whatever work that we do is not hierarchical and imposed by the therapist, but it's collaborative. Mm-hmm. People get better results when they admit their failures. This sort of small number of people who consistently get better results admit their failure. And thirdly, people get better results if they are committed to the work at a personal level as well. Mm. So you feel this work is a sort of a way of life that can really make a difference for pretty much anybody. I'm doing it in my own way. And so it makes me more congruent, makes me more able to communicate to you person to person. You can really improve your life doing this. I do think that what licensing really does is it gives you a profession where you have to have ethical behavior. And that is a real concern, is that you're in relationships where people are vulnerable. And so it's possible that you could exploit that or not properly have a proper professional relationship. So like as a psychologist in California, in the States, all the licensing varies somewhat from state to state, but almost all of them say you have to get your license renewed every 2 years. You have to do a certain number of CEUs, and you have to have ethics classes every 2 years. I agree with that. So you have to know that what is ethical behavior, which basically means don't have dual relationships.
Yeah.
Don't have business relationships. Don't use them for friendships. Don't use it for money. Don't have sex with your clients. Those are kind of the basic things that lead to the possibility of having an ethical relationship. And then those things about being trained, but getting feedback, admitting failure, and having a personal presence that involve you not just doing it from your head. Those are the important things.
Yeah, we cover it with the supervision that we a little bit invite psychotherapists to have a really proper supervision process.
And so we're here at a supervision course in Munich. That's an annual thing that I come to do. I've got maybe 10 different groups around the world where we meet once a year for 4 days. And as you know here, there's equal emphasis on professional technique, how to work with clients with this type of problem. But there's also to be able to do it not only ethically, but effectively. You have to know that you have that there's a connection you have to that personally. So you have to be able to feel comfortable with the struggles that your clients are having and be able to know how to deal with those inside of yourself. Because we have two things, we're professionals, but we're also human beings.
Yes.
And they're equally important in terms of how we can help people. One of there's an old existentialist saying that psychopathology is precisely the study of loneliness. That means people feel when they're in their problem, and their struggle, they feel alone and disconnected. And I think one of the things that we in the profession have not done well is we tend to communicate that your struggle is what separates you from humanity. It's like you have the struggle because you had a bad childhood or whatever. We want to be able to communicate that your struggles are one of the things that unites you to humanity. Everybody has a struggle. And so if I can feel that compassionately within myself and still be professional, but let you know at a human level, this is something that every human being struggles with, and nobody's exempt. And so if you can know that it's not what makes you inferior, or not what makes you weird, but it's part of what connects you to humanity, I think we not only can help the people release their own stigma about it, but to use it as part of, like, let's make a world where we can honestly say nobody's perfect, but we all sincerely want to help each other make a better world.
Well, thanks, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Stefan.
Yeah.
Pleasure.